All right, next up is Utah taking down UCLA late on Friday night. I would say Pac-12 after dark, but unfortunately, UCLA is in the Big Ten now. Utah is in the Big 12. UCLA winning this one 43-10. UCLA, I just go over their highest grade players real quick, starting off with the Utah Utes. Unsurprisingly, our guy, Spencer Fano, the best offensive lineman in college football, a top 5 player for us entering the year. Yeah, he looked the part. 87.6 grade for the right tackle for Utah. Projected top 5 pick right now in the NFL draft according to Trevor Sikkema. Edge rusher John Henry Daly, 84.8. Smith Snowden, the wide receiver, 74.1. How about the Fano family, man? Spencer Fano's older brother, Logan Fano, the edge rusher, 73.9. Jackson Benny, the cornerback, 72.6. And Devon Dampier, your guy, Dalton, with an 81.9 grade in his debut as Utah's starting quarterback. Let's go over to UCLA with their highest graded players in the loss. Cornerback Roderick Pleasant, 73.9. Running back Anthony Woods, 70.8. Keanu Williams, 67.5. Tight end Jack Peterson, 66.3. Cornerback Robert Stafford III, 65.9. And Nico Iamaleava with an 82.1 grade in his debut as UCLA's starting quarterback. So what's the story in this Utah blowout victory?
I want to throw a bonus thing in there with Smith Snowden in that top 5 because we have another two-way player in college football. He's playing legitimate snaps both at receiver and corner.
Did you see Lander Barton caught a touchdown too?
And we got Lander Barton catching touchdowns at tight end. Utah's just making their whole team two-way players. They had Sione Vaki a couple of years ago. Utah's using every tool at their disposal. Max, before I even get to a stat or anything, I'm convinced this was the worry I had for UCLA in this game, and this was a blueprint win for Utah. The phones at the We're Back department are ringing off the hook, and it's just Kyle Whittingham calling. This was exactly what you wanted to see from Utah, from Devon Dampier, from this offensive line, running, throwing, defense, every bit of it. Honestly, we've been waiting. We've been going, okay, we think Utah's bouncing back. This should be better. This could not have gone better in week 1. Going down to UCLA on the road, obviously UCLA a team with some excitement, new quarterback, all of that. Man, oh man. If Utah looks like this on both sides of the ball all year, I feel darn good about predicting them to win the Big 12.
Yeah.
I really
had them as runner-up too.
And it starts with that off Spencer Fano and even Devon Dampier on the ground and Wayshawn Parker and all these guys they can run the football with. 8 different players got to carry. 54 carries. 54. 286 yards. 4 touchdowns. 183 yards after contact. So it's not just the offensive line. 14 missed tackles. 37 and a half minutes of time of possession. This game, you blinked your eye and it was 20-0. Because this team can run the absolute hell out of the football. And then, I'm just going to throw the most impressive. And then you have the part with Devon Dampier. Where, and look, something I don't think we said enough. We said, okay, hey, Dampier was the 6th highest graded quarterback in college football last year. He was really good. This is a good fit, this offensive line. We undersold the fact that also his offensive coordinator, Jason Beck, came with him from New Mexico also.
Yeah.
This may be his first year at Utah. This is not his first year in this offense. And this is, you watch this again last night. This is as creative an offense as any in the country. And we saw it last year in New Mexico. That was a high-flying team, especially. Well, I should say it was really a very productive team on the ground especially. But if Dampier, you look at the passing line, 84.6% adjusted completion rate, 22-27, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns on the passing line. And he was making throws in the quick game, play action, bootlegs, outside the pocket, inside the pocket, along with 87 yards. The only thing I have to say for Utah in this entire game that's any bit of a criticism is I would just like to see Dampier take a couple less of the big hits that he took because I need you healthy for 12, 13, maybe 15 games or more. Who knows? If Dampier can just avoid a few more big hits and he's healthy, oh, boy, we got a situation in Utah. They looked spectacular last night on all sides of the ball. And to me, Devon Dampier was in total control of this game. Just unbelievable what Utah looked. I thought it was just unreal what they looked like. This was as good as this possibly could have gone in week 1.
Absolutely. His offensive coordinator came over with him, and the Coy Detmer Jr., who's now the quarterback's coach, came over from New Mexico too. So
this is, you look at all the creative looks,
they made him
running
comfortable.
pass.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. And you talk about what Jason Beck is looking at now, calling plays. And I don't know how deep the bag is, but it's deep. And now he went from New Mexico, a team that didn't have any defense, and your offensive line, you're working around it a bit. And they were still a decent – actually, they were still a decent run-blocking team last year at New Mexico. Now you give them this offensive line, Spencer Fano, Caleb Lomu, and these guys. This is a problem. This is a real problem for the rest of the Big 12.
So my stats whole story is UCLA's offense, only a 56.1 offensive grade outside of Nico Iamaleava, who actually looked decent out there at quarterback with Dalton. This was one of the biggest issues for us going into the year was what does Nico have alongside him on this offense? And we're proven right because Nico still an 82.1 grade. Usually when your quarterback has an 80 grade, you score more than 10 points. That's not the case now for UCLA. 56.3 receiving grade as a team, 31.9 pass blocking grade as a team for UCLA too. They allowed 22 pressures on 32 dropbacks for a nearly 70% pressure rate. Nico was under pressure all game. He had no chance back there with those receivers and that offensive line. And we're heading into Big Ten play in a couple of weeks. This could be a huge issue for UCLA this year. It's basically you have a good quarterback and Nico Iamaleava and not much else in this offense.
Throwing this out there. This Big Ten play, this could be a big issue next week.
True.
They're going
UNLV.
They're going to UNLV next. They got to see Dan Mullen and UNLV next week. This could be a big issue next week. I'm not even getting to the Big Ten yet. This is and look, we said it in the offseason. Nico is the ray of hope. But if there's nothing else, we're going to have a problem here. And, you know, one of the stats I want to throw out there on the rushing difference here, UCLA ran the ball for 112 yards. Nico had 75 of them.
Yeah.
Their backs, I believe, they had 15 carries for 37 yards. They got to find something else. He cannot carry them himself. If he's their highest graded player, that's great, but he can't be the only one up in that range.
Yeah.
It's not. And I know, again, Utah got the jump on him. Utah's a better football team than UCLA. I didn't question that before the game. I'm not questioning that now. That's for sure. UCLA's got to find something.
Yeah.
In the front seven on defense and anything else on offense. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And most impressive, real quick, Spencer Fano, highest grade player in this game, I believe, for both teams, and he was outstanding in this one too. 87.7 PFF grade, 85.2 run blocking grade. He led all FBS tackles as a true sophomore last year with a 92.7 grade overall and a 93.6 run blocking grade. Also, only one pressure allowed and only one loss and 33 pass blocking snaps too. Again, going into this game, my preview for Utah's offense was this offensive line has a clear and distinct advantage over UCLA. And listen, Dalton and I, we were wrong on a lot this week. We were not wrong about that. Utah's offensive line kicked ass in this game, and their superstar on that offensive line, who I got to check right now, but I believe is the number 3 overall prospect.
That sounds right
on
to me.
PFF's big board right now, according to Trevor Sycamore. He looked the part, and Spencer Fano could be a top 5 pick in this upcoming NFL draft. He's number 5 right now on the big board. He could be a top 5 pick, and if he keeps playing like that, he could absolutely be that.
What a group of maulers they have, and I have a
Caleb Lomu too is a first-round pick.
I have a feeling your Spencer Fano is your most impressive. Might be written in pen already for the rest of the season.
Oh, by the way, the broadcast for Utah UCLA actually had a nice shout out to our show. They were saying the PFF College Football Show ranked the top 10 offensive lines, and they had Alabama number 1 and Utah number 2. And they made the joke, and as they should have, saying they probably want to change that and say Utah's number 1 now. I will agree with them.
Yeah,
I say Utah is number 1.
Yep.
I would say Utah is the best offensive line in the country.
We don't update that week to week like our guy Zoltan does for the NFL, but I'm in.
Yeah. So shout out to the Fox crew for shouting us out there, and I agree with you. I would say right now Utah is my number 1 offensive line in the country. I'll say that. I'll say I got that one wrong.
I've got no argument. You run for 286 in a late night game on the road. I'm in. Absolutely.
All right. Utah flexing its muscles on UCLA in that one. In the old Pac-12 game, starting off hot this year, though, with a 43-10 victory. Also, we had Utah in the top 20 preseason, too. So hopefully keep going with that one. Hopefully get one team right this year.
Ball nowhere's no ball.
But not much, apparently. But
some.